And we are live, gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of the Mecca of Banter podcast. I am this week's host, Henry Wind. You can find me on Twitter at Henry Wind. I was thinking all day today of whether or not I start this week like I start every week.
I need to hear it.
It is a troubling day to be a Manchester United fan. It is a troubling day. In the news, that is the Glazers, that is Mason Greenwood, that is the weekend, it's just a troubling day today. It's a whirlwind of a club per usual. And it's been a tough one today, but we're not here to dominate the conversation with Manchester United. I know, different people's Twitter profiles are being blown up by Manchester United. We have Arsenal fans that are coming United fans. Crazy shit's happening when you're the biggest club in the world. But let's get into the fellas. We have a lot to talk about today. Let's start off with the man who can celebrate this week, Andy Hoover. How are you doing?
I mean, I'm great. I could not be more excited to be here today. All those words that you had in the beginning touched my heart. I needed to hear that. Dobe said last Saturday that it only took 2 weeks for him to delete his Twitter account last year, and it feels like we're about back. So,
I don't think you've known. I've been active as shit today, man. I've been all over the place with United Twitter today.
Welcome. Happy to have you, Hoove. I'm stoked to get into our game, our recap game. Butch, how you doing today, man?
Fellas, it's great to be here, man. I'm doing good. Big win for the boys this weekend, and I got to watch United lose sitting next to Dobes. It was a freaking great day, bro. Go ahead.
For our listeners, it's a miraculous thing. Liverpool gets a win, and suddenly Butch is available for the podcast this week. We're not saying it's a conspiracy, but we can't deny that those two things have been correlated. So thanks for being here, Butch, and we're excited to get into your game as well.
Yes, thank you.
Lucas Winkleman coming off a dub today. How you feeling?
Really good. Not a pretty win whatsoever, and I know we'll dive into that, but 3 points nonetheless. Stoked to a lot of weird things happen in the games this week, and a lot of red cards. Can't wait to talk about the refs collectively, specifically, but also I know we were together most of us were together for all the Saturday games together, so being able to watch that with the boys is always good, and seeing live reactions, both good and bad, was really fun. So stoked to dive into that.
I don't think we could have live streamed that one. Like that was one of those where my reaction was definitely not
too many bleeps.
Just a bunch of bleeps. Nick Hayflinger, man, you're looking a little solemn over there. You poured a glass of wine before we even started the pod tonight. How you feeling?
A little Pinot.
Yeah. Not great, but hey, we're here. I'm only here so I don't get fined. North City put on a great performance, so love to talk about that.
Fantastic. Well, thanks for showing up, man, and glad you got your wine to get you through. And last but not least, Connor Sindobri, how you feeling today, man?
Fellas, I'm feeling pretty good. Monday's been great. The United news has been sort of up and down. With the Greenwood situation, everything's sort of going on. But yeah, a tough weekend. I think that's one of those where it's early in the season. I have a lot of positives that I'm sort of going to take away. If anybody thinks there is art, trust me, you will hear them. Because first thing I just want to say is that St. Louis City is like one of the, if not the most electric team and the most important team in my life. So that's all I'm kind of focused on today. So if you guys want to talk City, I'll talk City. Maybe United, we'll see. Good to see you guys.
You said I've said this once. I'll say it a million times. St. Louis City till I die, bro.
Till I die, baby. I love the MLS.
There's nothing better. Well, gents, it's good to see you per usual. We do have a lot to dive into. We have a weekend recap of shambolic refereeing all around. We have some messy news to talk in the MLS roundup as well from the St. Louis City domination last night. And we also have a return of a draft, a Mecca ball knowledge draft of a front three. So stay tuned for that. And finally, we're going to finish off with a factor cap. So let's jump in with the weekend recap. Butchie, a 3-1 victory over Bournemouth that I did not think that you were going to get a couple of the different times throughout the game. But talk us through it, man. How do you feel?
I feel great, man. It's a great day to be a Liverpool fan. Let me tell you that.
Butch, this is the first week that neither of them said that in I don't know how long, and it was very nice to not fucking hear that line.
I may say it 10 times during my segment now just to get it out.
Go for it. You know you're lying now.
The game itself started very interesting because Dobes and I had practice, and jokingly – the game hadn't started yet. Jokingly, Dobes goes, Liverpool's down 1-0. And I said, shut the hell up. It was like 8:58. 2 minutes later, I'm pulling out of the parking lot, and it's 1-0 Bournemouth. And I'm sitting there, and I'm like, what the hell's going on? Like, Dobes, like, is he freaking psychic or something? So then, obviously, I got there a little bit late. I had Winks, what was it, like 30 minutes in? I got there 35. So I missed the Diaz goal, which was absurd, by the way.
That was
Diaz
a great finish.
It was awesome.
It
was awesome.
We wished you were there for that one.
Yeah, just ingenuity at its finest, man. I missed this. I just got there after Salah missed his PK and then buried the rebound. Very lucky to get that back, but much more convincing for me. I thought, like I said last week, I thought Chelsea dominated us to an extent in week one. I think week two, we definitely turned things around. Obviously, Bournemouth's a different team than Chelsea, but positive signs all around. Hopefully we can sign another midfielder before the window's over. Endo looked decent on his debut. $10 million bargain. He's the next Ji-Sung Park, like Dobe said. So I'm super excited for Endo and Big Verge, colossal performance from the Flying Dutchman. And Allison's still the best goalie in the league. I don't care what anybody says. Best goalie in the league.
Haven't seen that from Verge in a while, I feel like.
I know. The aura decided to actually play today. But, Butch, obviously we have in a couple of these games refereeing to talk about. But your game started it with the McAllister incident. Like, what do you make of the red card? Watching it back, do you agree? Like, how are you feeling watching that one?
I don't agree because I don't think he maliciously at all showed any intent of going in like to injure somebody, nor did he go in to like his studs were up. And I think you guys would agree with that. Like his studs were up, but you can see him kind of slowly like bring his foot back a little bit. Like, I don't think there was any malice in that. You guys may have a different perspective. I mean, what do you guys think? I'm a biased fan. Like, that's my club. I don't want to see us down to 10 men, but I don't think it was a red card.
I thought it was soft, but I thought it was also the most realistic outcome of the really shitty calls that we've had this week. Like,
Yeah.
It was kind of, I don't want to say stereotypical because it was soft. I don't agree. It wasn't malicious. But that one's never getting overturned. Whereas a lot of these other calls that we're going to end up bitching about in this podcast could have literally gone either way, and no one knows the answer as to why. Like that one was studs up high, not rough, not aggressive. But the other ones comparatively were just so much more mind-boggling and confusing. That I just don't think that one's getting turned back. They're not going to go to the monitor.
Yeah, I think that's one where that's just with VAR, they freeze frame everything now. So regardless if it was called on the field and they review that, because they can freeze frame that of his studs just sitting there, they're going to call it. I don't think it was necessarily malicious at all because McAllister's just not that type of player. But at the same time, VAR is always going to continue to call that now because they can literally freeze frame it at that one moment where his studs are up in his shin.
Yeah, I guess my issue with it is a red card is such a harsh a harsh thing for so many
Yeah.
reasons. Obviously, it's like you're down to 10 men in that game, but then it's a suspension. I just feel like in a tackle like that, he gets a yellow for it. No one bats an eye. Everyone says, yep, like maybe a little bit of a clumsy tackle. I think the other team says, yep, like, potentially maybe stopping a counter at the top of the box. I mean, that's a generous thing to say, but I don't think anyone bats an eye. But then it's just under such scrutiny when it's red straight off the bat. It's like, it's just taken so far for no reason. I think that was like the first call of what ended up, like you said, Hoof, being a ton of calls this weekend, that like we more and more as the seasons progress with VAR, we know less and less about the game.
Yeah. No, I just thought, like Dope said, we'll get to the handballs, but he's like, what's a handball? So it's like, what's a malicious red card in their eyes? Like, I just wish the standard was a little bit more,
transparent, clear.
Yeah.
Like, I just
clear
want
for
to know,
us.
Yeah. I totally get it. Well, while we're on the topic of Bournemouth, we got a Tyler Adams transfer, fellas. Real quick, what are your reactions to Tyler Adams to Bournemouth?
He's going to play a lot.
Playing time.
I'm pumped for him. I'm happy he's in the Prem.
Yeah, I feel like that's the big thing, getting game time under his belt.
Echo that.
I've been
best
creeping
best league in the world.
Leeds Twitter's been,
dude.
Those guys.
They have like mixed reactions too. Some people are like going to miss him, and some people are like, "Get the fuck out of our club."
Yeah, they're like,
it's crazy.
These old guys that I read are like, great attitude, total respect for the club, did everything for the badge. And everyone else is like, could have fucking played a year in the championship, buddy. Good riddance. See ya. Like, I think their reactions are wild. But
shout out to the people that let's say shout out to the people that put the relegation clause in his contract.
Yeah, big shout.
Whoever did that to let him get out like that. Because biggest thing, let him play in the Prem, best league in the world. Let him continue to develop. So good all around.
Fantastic. Moving on to the game of the weekend, Tottenham United. Andy Hoover. Andy, do you want to start? You want Dobes to start? How do you want to go through this? You want to take your swan song, your victory lap now, or later?
Take that shit, Hoove.
Let's. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
You guys earned it.
So we're talking about a different Tottenham here, boys. Completely, wholeheartedly, undeniable. We are talking about a team that is like 1,000 times more fun to watch. We've not scored a goal with an attacking player yet. That's a fun little stat. I love that.
We thought Davies had that one, but
man, I wanted Davies to have that slow roller so bad.
He was going on the cover if he put that in.
Dude, he even when he started running away from when the ball went in, he was just like cheesing, like I don't try to touch it. But yeah, we've had an own goal, a midfielder, a center back, and a right back score goals. So the whole what are they going to do when Harry Kane leaves thing has been solved by playing a different way. Turns out we're not reliant on a 9 for the first time in 7 years, which is evident because Richie was kind of, worked hard, ghost. He's going to be the guy, though, now that is literally just hunting balls in the box. And that's what that's what all you're asking of him. You're not asking him to be Harry Kane. You're not asking him to put up Harry Kane numbers. But the position's completely different. I thought United should have had 1 or 2 in the beginning in the first half. I thought they were the better team in the first half. I wouldn't say considerably better. I thought it was a pretty even go for first, 40 minutes or so. You guys had 1 or 2 chances that, frankly, were sitters. Honestly, I'm sure you feel the same. The second half was pretty dominant. They just started to click. The passes were connecting. They were holding so much possession, so high up the field. Things that I've never seen from a Tottenham side. And it was amazing to watch. I think Pepe Sarr is going to be a stud through the middle here in the next few years. And I'm going to announce my agenda on Yves Saint Laurent Bissouma. We're talking, in my opinion, hot take, maybe not. I think he's going to be one of the best players this year through the middle. 8, 6. I think he's going to be in the conversation for team of the year should Spurs not just implode and everything go to shit. If they
didn't
play,
put him in your short list,
Yeah, I was gonna say you had an opportunity last week to really double down on that, and you chose not to.
Bro, I'm with who, bro?
I watched him play one game.
Dog.
Yeah, he's a dog.
He's very good.
Dare I say it? Moussa Dembele left the club. We never replaced him. I found the guy. The guy that wants on the ball, that will turn under pressure and turn anyone off of him, find progressive passes, is an insane dribbler. I think we're going to be talking
there were
about
two situations in the first half where he made two absolutely outrageous tackles that were just so perfectly timed, and it I mean, obviously, like his ball carrying stood out in the first half, but he made those two tackles, and I was like, "Whoa, that's real."
He was everywhere, and I've got this. All of Tottenham Twitter and Tottenham fans think that he wasn't doing well under Conte for a plethora of reasons, I'm sure, but he was stifling the guy. He was telling him how to play. Yeah. He was telling him what to do. He looks like he is literally dancing on the pitch and having the most fun he's ever had. And it's completely 100% turned his game around. Like, you give the guy some freedom, there's videos and videos of him in the locker room dancing. The guy dances. Like, that's literally what he does, and it translates so hard on the pitch. It's so fun to watch. And then I'll take we'll settle the debate later. But Romero did start every single game besides one at the World Cup for a reason, and I think we kind of saw some of that, this week. But I still rate Licha. He had a rough game. I do find Romero to be clear though. So, lads, what you got for me? Spin it.
I'll agree with everything basically Hoof sort of said about the game, except for the last comment. Just fucking insane to even say that out loud.
Why?
You're right. Licha did have one more goal and one more assist.
You're right. The guy who played for the World Cup winners. Yeah. Go ahead, though.
I will say that Leach is a left side center back and Romero plays on the right, so they can play two different sides. That's why I didn't play the World Cup. But regarding the game, like, Hoover's 100% spot on that Spurs were the better side. Overall, we did miss a couple big chances, like that Bruno chance at the beginning of the game is like, we've seen him put that away time and time again. So him scoring that is, such a difference maker. But I also think, like, when I saw this lineup from the get-go after what we saw last week, like, by no means was I excited. Like, Rashford not playing on the left. Like, Garnacho had a terrible week last week, but like, it's sort of in Ten Hag's MO to do this. Like, after we lost to Liverpool 7-0, next week play the same exact lineup. Like, his goal is to keep sort of the confidence in the players, not let them, not let them sort of get down after a bad performance. But I think we sort of saw again, there were better moments than last week, but like, Rashford should never in a million years play down the middle. Like, he's so wasted. And that's no knock on Garnacho, but like, we're just a completely different team. And then, sort of the positives I take out of it is, through the first 2 weeks of the season, we have created the third most big chances in the entire league and have only scored one goal. Like, so you add a dynamic striker like Højlund, and then you add fucking Rashford to play sort of out wide. Like, yeah, the result is terrible, and, Spurs are sort of a different side than we've seen. They had a lot of brilliant performances by the guys in their team, but it's not all like doom and gloom necessarily for me, just because I think we're going to see Højlund like bring a difference. I think Sancho's going to start. Like, I think there's some rotation that we can make to improve, and I 100% trust Ten Hag to do that. So Spurs 100% the better team, overall deserve to win. I think the thing is like, talking about the pen, like, by no means when I say the pen like means that we win the game. I just don't know, like, if that's not a handball, then what is?
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Like arms out, ball hits his hand, like makes himself bigger, balls going on net. And that we've talked about it in all our games, which is crazy so far, about the consistency of the refereeing. Like, I think if we get the Onana call against us the week before, I genuinely think we get that PK call this week. Like, I 100% think that we get that. But overall, shocking performance. Hate to lose 2-0. Definitely some positive moving forward, but got to get it right quick.
Yeah, I think the only thing I'll add to it is, I'm watching obviously all of these games, and I'm seeing all of the other teams, and United just don't look like there. Like they don't look. We're 2 games in now, and it's the second bad performance in a row. They just like don't look all the way together. Martinez, like, I mean, you all know how much I love Licha, and obviously seeing the game from a center back perspective, it's like Hoove with wingbacks, man. You're always going to be critical of it. There's a lot of movement that's happening in Licha's game right now where he's like stepping up into the midfield. He almost took a second yellow against Wolves that we all called out, that like he almost took that. And I don't even think necessarily that the own goal, he was in the wrong position, but like there was a couple of times throughout the game that like he was just in just drastically different positioning than he was last season. And I don't know if that's like a coaching adjustment that Ten Hag's trying to get him to play in like the midfield a little bit more. I don't know, but so far it's just not working. And like, I don't want to press panic. Obviously, you all know how we started the season last season, and we turned around and had a great season. So I don't want to press panic, but there are a couple of things that just aren't clicking. I would love, if Højlund's healthy for the weekend, I'd love to see him go. And if not, I'd like to see Sancho or Martial start in the 9.
Tony.
Yeah, like something like that, just to get Rashford out on the left. Like it's 2 games in a row that he's ghosted, and I hate seeing it. So,
Nick,
I'll also say, bro, that Martinez own goal. If Davies was half a footballer, that's not an own goal.
Yeah,
Davies completely whiffed, and Licha went to block it if he hit it, and it just fucking hit off his foot.
I don't think that ball goes in the net if Davies doesn't whiff. Like
that's what I
100%, dude, 100%. Nicky, I know you've got a stat you're ready to pop out for me.
No. It's no stat. I'm a little shocked that you're so quick to like. You want Højlund in, and then you want Rashford to move to the left. Does that mean your star wonderboy Garnacho just sits the bench?
It means
right now, yeah. I mean,
he's
the
still a
standards aren't
teenager.
there. Yeah, like
He's
I
still
think
a teenager.
Yeah, like I think he has a lot to develop, and like I'd say the same thing about any of those guys. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like if we signed, like if we hypothetically, I know that we didn't, but like if we signed Neymar instead of him going to Saudi Arabia, yeah, I want Neymar to go against Rashford if who's starting in that spot. Like I absolutely want the best guys to do it. And I just think like when you look across the field, there are players that their best position, they're not playing in that position. So Rashford's best position is the left winger. He's not playing left winger right now. There's a time Bruno's best position is a 10. Like later on in the second half, he got moved out to right wing. He was playing like an 8 role. Like right now we're playing our best people out of position. It's not going to work.
Yeah, there's a pressure that comes with starting too. Like, being a teenager, based off his stats, statistically, if you compare like him and Ronaldo, which I get is a massive comparison, but like he's ahead in terms of goals, games played, assists, so on and so forth. But I also think that he's so used to coming off the bench where like he may be down in a game and there's no pressure on him to necessarily perform. Sure. Like to where you start at Man United, it's a whole sort of different just like animal, and he hasn't lived up to it.
When he wasn't starting, you guys were like, "Oh, I can't wait for him to start."
100%.
Yeah, because you think based off of sub appearances, you think he's ready.
And last year,
Rashford was a ghost for you, and now you just are throwing Garnacho out when Rashford goes to the left side.
Yeah, I would start.
Rashford's a 30-goal scorer on the left side.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just asking.
Yeah.
I agree with you, Dobes. I think that we mentioned it a lot last year. And we even talked about it a little bit on Saturday of how, like, pound for pound, he was one of the best super subs, one of the better super subs in the league last year in terms of just producing coming out of a sub. But then, yeah, you take the age thing into account, and I think it makes perfect sense.
I was throwing up a lob to Nicky because we have to talk about it. But our man Mason Mount connected 18 passes, lads.
It was 14. It was actually 14.
Oh, sorry.
70 million.
I mean, if you're going to talk shit, get it right. Come on now.
Oh, he attempted 18. That's what it was. Which also still not great from a center midfielder. My man was ghosted. He was gone. He doesn't know how to play next to anybody.
Scott McTominay.
Where's the future there? What are we planning for old Mason Mount?
I mean, like it's you can judge early, or you can give it time. Like there's very few players that can necessarily walk into a ever-changing United team and just fit directly in. So I think you got to give it time. I think the one thing that goes unnoticed is like his work off the ball has been like exactly what we expect. I think he has to get sharper. Like he has to get much sharper. And I think the biggest issue that's going to come from Mount is Bruno Fernandes is going to play 10. Like Bruno Fernandes is not coming off the field. So like I think Mount is going to be one of those where there's already fans calling for Eriksson this weekend. So like it's going to be one of those where you got to give him a little time to sort of integrate into the team. But at a club like Man United, that doesn't last forever. Yeah. So he needs to start performing.
I'll double down with that, Hooven, and say like it is a problem that needs solving. And my patience will probably be extended another couple of games. If Mount was like Ten Hag's key signing this season, that was the guy that he wanted. I have to trust that he has what he wants, like he has a plan in place, but like my patience will be another couple of games before I start.
Yeah.
So I agree. I think it's a problem that needs to be solved, but
you're right, man. It's tough for a manager to come in and completely reshape how you and your entire club and specific players play every week, and churn out results, kind of like Big Ange has done. But you're right. It's not for everyone. It's not for everyone. So
the roller coaster of a Spurs season with this start is going to be even higher and lower, bro.
They're going to be entertaining, baby. They're going to be entertaining.
It's just nice to see you smile. That's all I'll say. It's nice to see you smile so much on this pod.
Somebody else. Let someone else go.
The next game we have West Ham 3, Chelsea 1, in what I'll call the most expensive loss of all time. Nikki, you have some explaining to do, number one, but what the fuck, man? I think we all came on here a couple weeks ago and said, with this amount of money spent, and it's only gone up since we talked about it, it's title or bust.
They signed a goalie today.
They sure did, from the New England Revolution. Did you know that? They did that today.
Yes, I did. For Kepa's departure.
So what the fuck, Nick? What's going on?
Not great to be a Chelsea fan this week. I'm not gonna try to put some excuses on all of it. I mean, obviously, a 3-1 loss to West Ham is not great. Especially, it's interesting. I was thinking about it today. Last year, when we were kind of having these losses in the Premier League, I was able to be like, "Oh, it's okay. We still have the Champions League." But that is not a thing this year. So every single game, we're pretty much fighting for a Champions League spot. So us losing 3-1 to West Ham is not great. That certainly does not make me happy. I will say the only thing, Gallagher should not see the pitch. He really upsets me every time he's on the field. I think Caicedo came in his debut. He did not do well at all. But I also think he was thrown into a game where we were expecting a lot out of him, and he didn't perform up to that. I think there's a lot of pressure on the team in general. Obviously, you guys have been talking about it. There's a huge price tag on it. A lot of youngsters in the side. I think it's just going to take some time to find form and find growth. I also think it was interesting. I was talking shit on Sterling before the game, and I think Dobes pointed it out perfectly during the game. He was probably our only spark offensively for
he
threw
definitely
back.
Did. He was. I mean, there was a couple of times he would put sitters out there for Nico Jackson, and he would whiff. But yeah, so it's not going great. To be fair, I just think it needs time. And I mean, I know that's a shitty excuse, but that's all I really have right now. I'm hoping that we figure it out and find form together. And once we start getting a consistent starting 11 out, then we'll be good.
Yeah, I feel like I expected Nico Jackson to have a lot better game.
All
around.
I think he's
still a baller.
He's still very good. But
I think he's quality. It's just I want him to find the back of the net.
Exactly. I thought he played really well, to be honest. He just literally couldn't put the ball in the net. He was doing so well. And I don't want it to be one of those
guys where we keep saying, he's playing really well, but we need goals.
I thought he looked great.
He's rapid.
Yeah, he's really good.
He is rapid, dude.
Yeah.
He is so fast.
Also, Chewy's goal I thought was good. I thought he had a nice move and finish. He's only 19. I mean, we were talking about age. Chelsea is very young. That's one thing I'm super still positive about is we are a young side, and I think we can grow and find form together.
Yo, did his did anything come up with his injury? Chucky's?
I haven't read anything, but I've been looking.
Yeah.
I'm hoping it's nothing serious. It's not. He was bugging with it all game, and it was bugging me every time he'd look at his knee because you obviously know.
Mauricio Pochettino, he's magic,
Nikki, let me ask you a question.
All right.
You can put the money spent in it. You can take the money spent not in it if you want. This is a serious question. When this season becomes panic mode. What I mean by that is the entire 2023 you have 3 wins.
Yes. I want to know what you mean panic mode. What do you
at what point does the money spent on these players not necessarily become worth it because you're still not winning games? At what point is it?
When does I think panic mode in the club sense?
Panic mode is finishing 12th. We're at a low right now, and I think we're still in a rebuild process. Bro,
but you guys have gone through managers it's nothing.
I know, and we're still trying to figure it out. So I'm just trying to say what do you want me to panic?
I mean, if you guys aren't winning games, you just lost to West Ham, who just lost all of their best players.
Not good. We need time to grow. It's not a good performance. The team isn't doing well. I think it comes in with all of it. I think it's age. I think it's the pressure. I think it's a new squad. We had another 2 debuts this past game. So we've had 6 debuts in 2 games.
Bro, you just described that a lot was expected of a $120 million player coming in a game against West Ham.
He played 30 minutes.
And gave up a pen and
yes, yeah, in a game that was already over.
I think I'm going to side with Nick. I think Nick. There's literally more room for growth on the other side of the table. There's no panic that's ready to set in. There's no competition.
But it hasn't stopped. The bleeding hasn't stopped.
They looked way better against Liverpool. They put Liverpool to be in their place.
I agree with you. My whole thing is. It's the Chelsea fans go through the day, go through every day, just spending that amount of money is not necessarily fine, but then the results don't come. It's not like these guys didn't have an entire preseason together. It's not like they didn't look great against. It's not like they didn't look great. It's not like they did great against Liverpool. You know what I mean? And then all of a sudden, the next week they come up and drop a stinker.
Half of these people, this is their second game playing with each other.
Nick,
a lot of them.
Nick. Caicedo, they played together all preseason. No, I'm saying who? The only person that hasn't is Caicedo. The rest of them played preseason together.
No, not all of them. We had some late signings.
Nick, I have a question for you.
But now this has got where I want it. Now we're supposed to expect Mount to do that?
Mount's going into a way more established
the same exact thing, bro.
That is no way. That Chelsea team is completely 360
It's his first time playing with these guys.
Yeah. What was I bashing Mount that hard for you?
Nick was over there wanting to say so many things, and he was just
yeah. I saw you with the smile on your face and they're cheesing.
Nicky, before we move on, you've had one performance against Liverpool that you guys, should have pulled away with 3 points and you didn't, and then you had a terrible game against West Ham. If you have a magic ball and you're able to see your league position at Christmas, halfway through the season, where's Chelsea at the Christmas break?
Shit. Christmas break, I'm gonna go with 6th.
Sheesh.
That's what I had. That was my brain.
Is poaching a job?
Ooh.
Yes. I think we give Poach the whole year.
Well, may that be year. 2 hot takes.
You can always call Frank.
Yeah, you can always call Frank. He's always down. Shout out Frank one time.
Please, for the love of God, if I see Gallagher again. I mean, I love the dude. He runs his ass off half the time. But
Caicedo's starting next game.
You'd think with Caicedo, yeah, he's done.
Yeah, you'll be fine. Winksman, close us out for the weekend recap with a 1-0 victory from a brand new penalty taker from Arsenal, that is Martin Odegaard. Some controversy in this game as well. Talk us through it.
Yeah. Our perfect Premier League start is still intact. Like you said, Odegaard's PK gave our 10-man side a win at Selhurst, which is not an easy place to play at, by the way. I don't know if you guys watched it and heard the fans roaring in the background, but we were kind of texting about it during the game. Gabriel, his second game in a row, not starting. He came off the bench in the first game against Forest in the 85th, 86th minute, and then came on in the 70th today. There's some speculation that it's some sort of disciplinary action as to why he hasn't started these first 2 games, but nothing official has been released. And when I find out more, I'll
Fab
obviously
came out
let you
today and
guys
said that it
know.
might have been transfer related, that they were like potentially shopping him around Saudi Arabia.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I heard something similar about Party, in that he's been receiving emails from Saudi clubs, but I didn't see anything about Saudi related to Gabriel. Either way, I also feel like Arteta's still kind of sorting out the back line aside from whatever's going on with Gabriel. Obviously, the Timber injury doesn't help. Zinchenko played a little bit today coming back from injury, but we saw Party playing on the right again. And I honestly really liked it as we kind of rotate into that back 3, moving up the field, and he's able to sit in that 6 role when we've got the ball, and that obviously allows Rice and Havertz and Odegaard to play further up the field, so Odegaard can support Saka on the right side and cut in with his left, and so on. Also thought Nketiah played really well despite missing a few chances in the first half. I feel like we talked about it a little bit last year with him stepping up with the first Gabriel Jesus injury, but since he came back from loan for us back in like 2020, I think, and he's continued to see the field more, whether that's due to other guys getting injured or not, I think that he's progressing really well and kind of starting to grow up in that position. So that was good to see. Also watched Mikel Arteta's post-game press conference, and in his words, Declan Rice absolutely bossed the midfield today, and I couldn't agree more. If you look up his heat map, I think the entire field was red except for like the corner flags. It was insane. I think on both sides of the ball, we saw him winning tackles, holding up play, sending guys through, especially in that 1-2 in Nketiah that he tried to chip Johnston on. But he was absolutely phenomenal. Saliba also with the most touches, interceptions, and clearances on the day. And then that trademark last man tackle inside the box that was just absolutely perfectly timed. Great all around too. But speaking of questionable, obviously, so first of all, Tomiyasu gets his first yellow card for time wasting. And I know they're trying to like clean up the game with that, but there's no like set amount of time that we know of that's out there that can cause somebody to get a yellow card for quote unquote time wasting. I know that there are a lot of times when, any of our teams are down and, guys are really taking their time that they're like, that's for sure a yellow card, but there's no standard. It's up to the ref's discretion. And so that obviously sucks that he's kind of has to play on edge for that. But that second yellow on Tomiyasu was very questionable as well. I think that was a clear dive, but then on top of that, I think that the no foul for Eze in our own 18 was also questionable to an extent. But I think collectively, to kind of summarize what we've been talking about this whole time, is that these refs are just so inconsistent. And although they think they're trying to make the game better, I think that, as we look at all the games this weekend, there's still something missing in that decision process. And none of us still know whether or not certain fouls are certain fouls. Who got the ESPN noti?
My B.
I was like, that's Butch, bro.
I'm so shocked that it was you.
Dude, I agree completely. I think both of those calls are wrong.
Yeah.
I think Eze is a pen. I don't think that second one's a yellow. I think if he gets more of his jersey or something, then that's what the position he was in was set up to be a clear yellow card. We really didn't touch him.
Yeah, but I also think if he doesn't get that first yellow for time wasting, that's a perfect opportunity to make a tactical foul there.
Yeah.
Although I don't think that he did that, but they were on a break, so that would have been a great opportunity for him to make a tactical foul had he not gotten that first yellow. But I don't think that he necessarily did anything wrong. Butch, mute your damn phone. Jesus,
it's not me. That's not me. I promise.
Dude, I think even the first yellow card is frustrating to me.
Yeah,
because there was the rumors came out, or it actually came out that the referees were going to track down on that shit, or crack down on that. Excuse me. And it's like, in what world is Tomiyasu in the 60th minute, actually trying to waste time?
No, and he's all against a team where up until we got that red card, we're absolutely dominating possessions. They didn't have any big chances yet at that point in the game. Like, all of their stuff came obviously when we went down to 10 men. We had to play more than 30 minutes with just 10 guys. But I think despite that, like, we played brilliant 10-man football, and especially playing down as long as we did in a park like that. The fans were so loud, but aside from the refereeing, I'm pleased with how the guys played collectively and individually. But not all wins are pretty, like we talked about. But even though we had 10 guys, I think that I'm normally very nervous in the last 15, 20 minutes of the games we play, because we tend to be a little more lackluster. But I think that, even though they put the pressure on with us being down a guy, I think that we held it together really well. So 3 points is 3 points, and Fulham at the weekend.
As is gross.
Yeah, 3 points is 3 points. Yeah,
as is gross.
He's disgusting, and
that
I think
was
he deserved that pen.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone would have been mad at it. Shocking, just absolutely shocking. Would have loved to see it happen. But you said it. Dope said it in the group text. Sometimes you have to win when it's ugly, and that's what you all did. So congratulations on that win, gentlemen. We had a St. Louis City game last night for the first time in a month, and we fucked. We were so good.
Hey, we won. So here to talk about it. I love it. Plays so well.
It's my favorite segment. My favorite segment.
Austin thought they were going to be getting us on the reverse fixture, even though they've both been at home. And first one was away, wasn't it?
Yeah, first one's away.
Yeah. So they thought they had us in the reverse
Kippy
fixture.
Keller. Yeah.
Oh,
I was
God, poor kid. Poor kid.
Poor kid. The original shower. So a 6-3 domination over Austin. There is a couple of big points to hit on in this game. First and foremost, we had an almost perfect performance out of Leuven last night. A 9.7 on FOTMob, 3 assists, and actually unreal defensively as well. Made a couple of amazing track backs.
35-yard missile off the crossbar.
Unbelievable, man. That guy is just doing it. Perhaps not as sexy of a comment, but Berkey made some of the biggest saves I've seen him make this season in that game. It was a 6-3 game, which is a hilarious scoreline. That game easily could have been 6-6 if he didn't absolutely stand on 100%. His head. Yeah, so major shout outs to Berkey. But the big thing here, fellas, is we got 2 debuts. We signed a guy, and then we had a long-term injury come back. So did anything happen in this game, even outside of these 3 points that you all want to hit on? But what are your thoughts on the debuts? How are we feeling?
Good. Great. Dude, I think so. We saw it when Nilsson came in, we saw that they switched basically into 4 center backs, which is really interesting. And I do feel that, now that we're starting to get solidity all over the field, Kyle Hebert may be the next, kind of position we need to take a look at. I think he's served really, really well in that position, and I'm still taking him over our boy John. But he was directly at fault for 2 of the goals. The scissor kick tackle in the 6-yard box is just that's in his locker. He's always got those.
It was absurd.
He's always got one of those ready to rock. So other than that, I saw Manuel Veth, the transfer market writer, tweet something about Samuel Adrian. So he came off the bench and had 2 pretty insane goals. And it turns out we didn't need Kip Keller to throw a back pass to a City attacker.
We got the keeper to do that.
Yeah, but Manuel Veth was writing or just sent a quick tweet that was just we've got some very interesting transfer market updates coming in the next couple of weeks. And the picture was of Samuel Adrian. So I think we've grabbed some guys from nowhere and just turned them into gems. And I can only assume that that's what Noak V. Thorson will be. I can only assume, Nilsson's actually going to be the guy, the Swedish national that we thought he was. So I think the things are falling into place, and we may or may not see my big Brazilian man, João Klaus, next week. So,
dude, only
Boy, would
time
I
will
love
tell. We would love
Need
it.
need it.
My favorite part of watching Nilsson play was like towards the end of the game, Parker is exhausted. Like he put in a shift last night. At the end of the game at full time, he was like flat on his back, just so tired. But at one point, Parker made this like huge defensive play, and it was like, I don't know, 89th minute, maybe the 90th minute, and we played the ball forward, and Nilsson looks over at Parker like screaming at him to like get up even with Nilsson, and Parker literally just like waved him off, was just like hands on his knees, so tired. He was just like, no, which was insane. But I also want to shout out Will Bruin, scored for Austin. But where we were sitting was like directly behind. I mean, you all sat there one of the games. It was like right in the corner. It was directly behind where all those guys warm up. And the supporter section was like yelling at Jazzy Zardes and Will Bruin, who were like warming up. And Will turned around and looked at the supporter section, and he basically like signaled and mouthed to the fans, like he was saying, like, look at me. I'm not playing. He's like, I'm not going in. Like, there's no shot that I'm going in. And he was like laughing with the fans. He was dapping up all the fans as he walked by. He's a St. Louis guy, like whatever.
And then scored.
Absolute bro. And then he goes in the game and scores and looks up at the supporters section, and all of the people around us just started dying laughing that he was going to score. But, happy with the 6-3 win. Never a good day when your team lets up 3 goals, but we'll take it. We'll roll with it. And to your point, Hoove, I think that we have some exciting shit coming in the coming weeks with transfer evaluations and the evaluation of our team. So hopefully we get everyone healthy, but we'll see. So let's roll, fellas. Are we ready to move into the Mecca Ball Knowledge Super Draft? This is the second round, and
these are fun.
this was fun. We had a lot of engagement on the socials. My record is 1-0. I feel great about this. It came down to the wire between Winks and me, but I came away victorious. I said it at the end of the episode. I felt so confident in my midfield 3. We are now going to draft a front 3 from the Premier League only. So if you weren't with us last week, we're going to do a snake style draft between the 6 of us, which means we're going to go down the order, back the other way, and down the order again. We're going to have 3 picks to build our perfect midfield 3. Nick Hayflinger.
Midfield?
Oh, sorry. Front 3. Cat. Put it out, team.
Before we start,
us doing Premier League only is insane. But
yeah.
But before we start, I have to talk a little shit on myself because I was so confident in my midfield 3.
I was about to say something,
I got one single vote, and it was myself.
Dude,
I texted
clown.
I texted Hoove and Hen. I was like, "This isn't going well, fellas." And I looked who the vote was. It was me. I was like, "Oh my god,
dude!" And Nick, to your point too, bro. I give you so much shit on your picks, and you crush it. You got so many votes on yours. I think when you look at the midfield 3 and you see Tony Cruz in there, you're like, that's a good pick. But for me, him being the number 2 overall pick was the most crazy thing I've seen.
Hey, you got the clicks.
I'm telling you, the graphic matters.
Okay.
Who got third last week? I know you won and I got second. Do we remember who got third? Was it you, Nikki?
Probably Nick.
It was probably Nick.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think
one thing that I just thought of that I want to do is for the whole season as we do this between whether it's center backs, keepers, starting keeper, backup keeper, whatever it is, I want to start keeping a standings, and we'll do a 3 points for first place, second
losers got to do
2 for
something.
second,
ball
knowledge, and then at the end of the season, we'll see who's got the most ball knowledge, and kind of. So I'm going to start keeping a record of this.
Well, listeners, if you have any ideas, let us know. We'll be down for all ideas. But Nikki, explain to us the draft order here. How are we going?
Click it,
and then Winks, do you want to run it?
Yep,
we're doing a live draft generator right here. Ready? I'm clicking it. Let's see what we got. Oh my God! How does it go? Him again, Butch with the first overall. Winks at number 2.
Who?
Winks at number 2.
Fuck yeah.
Jesus, man.
Henry at number 3.
That's a brutal pick.
Me at number 4. Hoover at 5. And Dobes at 6.
Dope says, I'm choosing Sergio Busquets again. He's playing my right wing.
You guys are never going to believe this MLS product I found.
All right, so the Premier League front three. Winks, take it away.
All
Let's
right.
figure it out.
Butch, I already typed in who you're going to pick, but
If he doesn't, he's
you have so for those who don't remember, Butchie, you get the first pick. Then when we get to Dobes in the snake style draft, he'll get the 6th and 7th pick, and then we'll wrap all the way around back to Butch, and then you'll get the double pick again.
Yes, sir. I got fantasy football, baby. I know how it goes. Let's
Yeah,
ride.
man. All right. Who do you want in
All
your
right.
first pick?
Just give me Erling, bro. Just sign him up.
Erling Haaland.
Well, that's
all right.
that's
real talk.
disrespectful to Mo Salah.
That is,
Real
dude, that's
talk.
crazy.
I'm
38
telling him.
goals, bro. What are you
telling him this
talking
is
about?
I literally think Butch just won. So
When I was making my list, I
Not
swear to you,
necessarily.
it took me about 14 names before I put a single Liverpool person on this draft.
Oh, yeah.
So
Okay, that's just dumb. If you're not having Salah in your top 10, that's dumb. Come on. Come on.
All right. I'm gonna take these. I'm gonna take the star boy Bukayo Saka at number 2.
wow.
It's a good pick.
Oh, I know. All right, Hen, you got the 3. What's up, baby?
I am going to go Mo Salah.
Are you?
Yeah, nice.
Are
I
you?
am. Yeah, I'm going to go Salah.
Okay. I like
If I'm
that.
building-
Smart.
my
He's a
front
smart
three.
guy. He's sophisticated. Look at him.
Sophisticated.
Beautiful dude.
I knew I liked you. All right, Hafey, number 4. Who's your first round pick?
I have no idea. Let me.
You have no idea. Were you not prepared for this?
No, I was, but you guys took like.
How many names you write down? You had to at least have
couple,
18
but I
names
didn't
down.
Bro, I have 37 names down.
Yeah.
The beautiful thing about this is you can go so many different directions with
I
it. I think
know.
that there are still good right wings that you could go for. There's a lot of left wings, obviously, and there's a handful of good strikers left. So just think about who's going to draft what and how you want to build that.
Am I going to do another? All right, I'm going Son.
Whoa.
Ooh.
Moves like,
okay.
ooh. All right, Goof.
If he gets Sonny, Mr. Hoover.
This is
Fifth
this
pick.
is the issue here because I don't know who Dobes is going to take because I need that wraparound pick.
Yeah.
But I know he can't take 2 out of 1 category. So this one may
He
be
might.
wild.
He could go 3 strikers.
I guess he wants to go
Because-
three
Rashford
strikers, he
being
can go
one
three
of them.
strikers. That's another thing. I have Rashford in both of my left wing and striker
Yep.
category. So in true,
After I just spent the whole time talking shit on Rashford.
Yeah, as a striker.
you're gonna have to take him, dude, because I'm not gonna. Do I take him off the left? I'm gonna take Rashford off the left. No. False. I'm taking Isak through the middle.
That's a huge pick,
Good
bro.
pick.
That's a W.
That's a big
Yeah,
pick.
I had him on my short list.
I did
Same.
too.
Same.
Look at Dobes. He's pissed. That was his pick.
No,
Damn
no,
it.
it wasn't. He is on my list, though. He's on my list as 9s. I had to cross him out.
I think for me, the next 2 clear picks are both left wingers.
Same.
I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, it just depends on how I want to set up my 3.
So that was a great pick, Hoove, because, yeah.
'Cause I'm leaving
unless Gold
myself-
sets it up a certain
Yeah.
way.
I'm leaving myself with 3, and I want one of them more than the other one, but I don't know. I don't know.
All right, I'm going to do it. I just talked so much shit on it. Rashford's going to be my 9. Rashford's playing through the middle
All right.
Holy shit.
because it'll look good on the graphic and nobody will know where he's playing.
Yep.
I don't want to do this, but I think I have to do it.
Do it.
I'm going Martinelli.
Whoa.
I may be shocked by Martinelli, but when you have to think about it, from Erling Haaland to all the other number 9s, there's such a massive drop off from him. So therefore, I went with who I think is one of the most dynamic left wingers in the league. Not to say he may be the best in somebody else's eyes, but he's right up there, if not maybe just behind Rashford.
I like it. I think that Martinelli's known for just taking on defenders as soon as he gets it on that left wing. And I think with Rashford cutting inside, he's going to get a lot of balls across the box. So I approve. But on the wraparound, Mr. Hoover,
I've got two. I got multiple
and Mr.
left
Isak.
wingers. I got left wingers better than fucking Martinelli. I'm gonna go Dr. Dribbling himself, Mr. Matoma off the left.
That's
Matoma,
great, bro. That's a great one.
Great pick.
I'm building. We've got something hot cooking over here, boys.
Who've said it earlier? He's got an agenda.
I've got
he's sticking to it. All right, Heifi, you picked Heung-min Son on the left. Your first pick. Who you got? Round 2. Nico Jackson.
Can I do it again?
Do what again?
Get third place? Sure.
No.
Nah, bro, you've already used him in the midfielders draft. Sorry, sir.
What? No, I mean,
sir. Sorry, sir. The moment you said that, I knew where you were going.
there. I wanted this person more anyway.
I mean, you can use him if you want. I think it's fair.
Some people might say this is hot, but I think I'm going to go Phil Foden at right wing.
Yeah, that's not bad. I mean,
No, I don't think that's hot.
He can slide it.
I would have let you take Silva for sure.
I would have let anyone been.
I like Phil Foden anyway.
Yeah.
Foden could have played anywhere in the front 3 too, for real.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He play false 9.
Yeah.
Dingle.
All right.
What position?
Enrique.
Never mind. You guys go.
Is Rashford still on the
Enrique.
table?
No.
Yes.
Jobs took him his first round.
Nah, bro, he's my number 9.
Oh yeah,
you went.
take him 9. I was like, holy shit.
I went him first.
Dude, I was about to be so stoked that he was still on the table. I'm gonna go
Ghost that he was this last week that you guys said.
Yeah, bro.
31 goals last year.
Okay. I'm gonna go Salah on the right, and I'm gonna have Mr. Jack Grealish whipping in crosses.
Yeah.
On the left.
Yeah. He was my
second best left winger. That's a good pick.
Thank you.
Dude, I took Matoma over him. I think he does.
Dude, Matoma is a sick pick. His goal this weekend was
that's just a lot of trust that like our followers have ball knowledge.
Yeah.
We'll be able to tell. Yeah.
All right. Here's what I think. So Butch picked Erling Haaland. He's got his striker sorted, so I think I can get away with not taking one here and get a good left winger, but you put Rashford at the 9. And that pretty much all of the left wingers I had picked are gone. So I might pick a good right winger that's still available and just put him on the left. And I'm going to go with Almiron from Newcastle.
My list. He was on my list.
And I'm going to play him on my list.
That's insane. That's a crazy pick.
I had him down.
Fellas, thank you so much for leaving me with Luis Diaz on my left wing. I appreciate you all so much.
Bro, you might have just lost the draft with Erling Haaland.
Okay, yeah, Luis Diaz, 2 goals in 2 games. Mason Mount's got
my list, bro.
I didn't have Luis
Diaz.
I don't winger.
I have Callum Wilson ahead of him.
You are a clown, bro. Ronald McDonald looking ass boy.
Bro, I'd rather play Gakpo over there, Nunez over there.
You guys are all just haters, bro. You're just haters. I'm sending your parka back. I'm gonna write dick cheeks on it.
He scores 1 sick goal this weekend. All
right, who do we have next?
Cool. Who's going to be on the right then for you?
Oh yeah, you get to round this out.
I think there's a couple good ones still left. Yeah.
Okay. So I got Diaz, Haaland. My right wing. Shit. I'm definitely not taking Anthony. He can shine my boots. I'm gonna go with Moussa Diaby from Aston Villa.
Huge, man. That's great.
That's who I was between.
That's who I was. Yep.
I think he just lost with Erling Haaland.
No shot I lost.
Wow.
You did.
Wow. That's crazy.
All right. So you took Mr. Diaby on the right wing. All right. I've got my winger sorted. So I think there's a lot of ways I could go with striker here. I would pick Richie, but I want my front three to score goals.
I'm not even picking Richie. Yeah, he wasn't
that's
on my
funny.
list.
Gabby Jesus is hurt.
You could take him.
I know, but I feel like if we're doing this in terms of like the last year, I don't like he was hurt so much of last year too.
That's a high
that'll be
integrity play. That's a high integrity play.
Yeah. And it's crazy that I think I'm gonna do this because he wouldn't start for his team in this position, but I'm gonna go Julian Alvarez.
Yeah, that's huge.
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
dude,
I was
no,
hoping
that's
you
it.
said that. That's an amazing pick, bro.
Yeah,
That's
that's
a
a
great
great pick.
Yeah,
I'm sitting here going, how's nobody taking him?
He was next on me.
Yeah, he was
I
next.
didn't
to
even
me.
I was gonna take him in the second round, but since you were gonna take Luis Diaz no matter what, but I just wanted to make sure that I secured a decent left wing. So I ended with we'll talk about it after. Henry, you have Mo Salah on the right, Jack Grealish on the left. Who do you have run up the middle?
An absolute goal scoring machine. I'm going Nkunku down the middle.
That's a good pick.
I like my front three a lot.
Yeah. Well, who's going to be your backup striker? Because
I was going to say we won't see him till next
when we
season.
make the graphic, we're going to put the little red cross.
The red crosses there.
Yeah.
I'll be curious if you all take these guys, but there are some spicy picks that I have that I left off.
Yeah, dude. I think I've got a couple sleepers.
Yeah.
But all right. So you landed on Nkunku as your striker. Hafey, who do you have going up the middle? You've got two wingers. I wouldn't blame you.
Dude, Hoyland's right there for you, bro. But if we're counting Nkunku, like, you can take one.
You could also run
Don't
Garnacho up the middle if you want to.
There you go, bro. Problem solved.
Let's see this ball knowledge.
Antonio.
Big Dick
Antonio.
Mick. Damn, bro.
Oh man.
Nikki, I put 29 names on this list. Mikel Antonio isn't the
I got like 35.
You're right.
I would have taken Hoyland. I would have taken Hoyland before him.
10 goals last year on that one, Ham team. Come on.
That's great. Right. That's great. I love it.
Hafey picking his striker for pure clickbait. Mr. Hoover, who's your third pick?
Mine's also probably going to be clickbait because we're kind of hosed on the right side.
I still think there's a good one that could have a phenomenal year.
Yeah, I think so too.
What'd you say?
I said I think there's one guy in particular on the right that could have a phenomenal year for his team.
Shit. Well, I don't have him on my list.
Whoever he is, I don't have it.
I would tell you, but I'm not gonna.
Dude, this one, I'm gonna get clowned for either of these picks, but dude, I've got like hope they pan out FC up top here. No, I can't even do it. No, I think Mbeumo scores more goals than Declan Kulusevski.
So who are you doing?
Kulusevski.
Brian Mbeumo?
Oh,
I hate it. I don't even really like that.
Mbeumo would have been a sick pick.
I think I think he will contribute more than Decky, but I think in like a front three, the way that I'm shaping it, we got two dribblers on the wings, one guy who picks up, receives, scores. I don't know.
Very similar to my mindset, Hoover. I like the pick.
I think personally, hold on.
Got
I'll wait for Dobes to pick his right winger before I say who I was thinking you might go with. But Dobes, you've got your last pick. Round out the draft. You got Rashford on up the middle, Martinelli on the left. Who's Who's on your right?
I think I have to do it if we're going to count it. I'm surprised Nicky didn't take him.
You can do it.
I think I have to. I'm going to take Bernardo Silva. I have a few other names on my list, but I think that for the graphic, I think he's like a what honorable mentions. Honorable mentions.
Good votes on my midfield.
Honorable mention 3 that when we listen to this at the end of the season could have an absolutely bonkers season.
Yep.
On the left, João Pedro. Down the mid from Brighton. Down the middle, Evan Ferguson.
He's on my list.
On the right.
Yeah, he's on my list.
Yeah. Palmer's a dog, bro.
Cole Palmer's going to get some game time this season, fellas. That's my honorable mention 3 that I think could.
Nico Jackson was my only other pick.
Yeah,
I had Gibbs White. Gibbs White's played as a winger.
What do you guys think about Solly March on the right?
Dude, he's number 1 on my list. Yeah.
Dude.
Outside Elise, even though fuck off.
I did have him on my list. I wasn't lying.
Without thinking about without thinking about Bernardo Silva in there, I thought that one of you two would genuinely take him on the right side. Especially after seeing him play this weekend.
My last 3 left were Solly March, Mbeumo, and Decky.
Yeah.
Do we want to roll through them?
Yeah, let's go through it.
All right. First pick, 1.1, was Bucci Main. His team landed with Holland up the middle, Luis Diaz on the left, and Moussa Diaby on the right. I went second and got Saka on the right.
With Holland, bro.
I know, bro. I feel so bad.
Dude, you guys are all about ball knowledge. If you don't rate Luis Diaz, you need to go get your head checked, bro.
Bro, all I'm saying is that front 3 would be so electrically fast, bro. They would be so fast on the counter.
Your coffee. I'll do 3 weeks in a row on Saturday mornings.
If I win,
if you win,
Butch is going to text all his players to go vote.
Give me coffee.
F that.
Hold on, coffee and a donut. You got to add a donut.
All right, fair deal.
Only one with a big ass box.
Yeah.
All right, so I had second pick. I had Saka on the right, Almiron on the left, and then Julian Alvarez up the middle.
I'm pissed I didn't take Julian Alvarez.
Yeah, that's a great pick.
Yeah, I like that.
But I would have taken Isak and Matoma before him though anyway. So I think you did the right thing. Third, the Egyptian Prince Mo Salah, Jack Grealish on the left, and the guy that's out for 3 months, Nkuku, up the middle. Bold.
Hey,
and then
you have no room to speak on this ball knowledge. Want to know?
Fair. We'll see if that holds up this week. But Mr. Hayfie went 4th overall. A guy who who a lot of us are hoping, just out of sake of being a good guy, has a redemption arc this year. Now wears the captain's band for Tottenham. Heung-min Son on the left. Youngster who we're all high on, Phil Foden on the right, who should get a lot of playing time now that KDB's hurt, just not at right wing. And then out of nowhere, and I mean nowhere, Antonio up the middle.
Out of nowhere.
Good God.
Man's proven in the
before Nico Jackson.
Before Nico Jackson, before Darwin, before
Hey, in his defense, I bet Antonio bags 1 at West Ham on that Chelsea team against West Ham. In that game, in that situation, I bet he runs and crashes the 6 and doesn't whiff on that ball like Nico.
Phil Foden playing the ball into Antonio. Sign me up.
Jared Bowen playing the ball into Antonio.
Socks compared to Phil Foden. Are you kidding?
The 34-year-old reggae man.
And is feeling strong right now, fellas.
Hey, watch.
All right.
Favorite moves, cool runnings.
Fifth overall pick. Who've had a great team going. Isak up the middle. The dribbling magician, Mr. Matoma, on the left, and then his hometown boy, Kulusevski, on the right.
We're all going to lose on one of our players. We all have 2 really good players, and our third is just a fucking crapshoot.
I don't know. I think mine's pretty strong.
I don't know. With Dobes sneaking in Bernardo Silva there.
I mentioned him, and I was mad that I mentioned him after Nick didn't take him.
I wasn't going to out of, just values and
I went positional only. My team is positionally set up to play tomorrow.
And then, but speaking of that, Mr. Dobes with the 6th and last pick in the draft went Rashford as the 9, Gabriel Martinelli on the left, and Bernardo Silva on the right, who was chosen in the midfield 3 draft last week, world midfield 3, and somehow makes it into
we like
right
our
wing.
players to be utility players on my squad.
Darn
Play
right.
everywhere.
No shit.
Made it, we allow it.
Yeah. So here's what we'll do. We'll take these. We're gonna put them into cool little graphics. We'll post them on Instagram, Twitter, all our socials, and let you guys vote on which midfield 3 you think is the best. And we'll split it into 2 groups. And then last time we had 6 of us last time, so we'll do the same thing. We'll do 2 groups of 3, and then the top 1 from each group will go into a head-to-head in the championship, and we'll let you know who wins that. But last week, Henry won the midfield 3 with his midfield 3 of Frankie de Jong, Enzo Fernandez, who ironically missed a penalty this weekend.
Glad that we ran that last week.
Yep, and then Bruno Fernandez. So we'll see who wins this week, but good draft, gentlemen.
Well done, fellas.
GGs.
And what'd you say, Butch?
I said GG's.
GG's. Well, we'll see who wins this bet between Dobes and Butch here. We'll see if Butch gets a couple of donuts a couple weeks in a row. But that wraps us up for this week's episode, fellas. Good work. And to the listeners, as always, thanks for listening. Follow us along on our socials. We have a lot of content coming your way, a lot of interactive stuff coming your way as well. GG's, gentlemen. Well done.
Cheers.
Cheers, fellas.
Yeah, lads. That was a good one.
Cheers.